Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DCU Bowl here for what is the final day of action and a Scandinavian derby here in this AFL European Championships between Denmark and Sweden. Swedish Elks and Denmark share an intense rivalry. Rook Rover in quickly there as Eric Salin sent in long towards David Verngren. Ball breaks off out for a throw and restart here from the umpire. Fine conditions here today. We're very lucky to have pleasant dry weather and a good surface to play on. And both teams seem eager to impress in what is their final contest in this Dublin 2013 AFL European Championships. It's pretty scrappy to begin with, as there's a lot of intensity trying to garner possession. Central to all of that, of course, is Emil Aberg. Emil, who's been very impressive for the Swedes this week. The flank by the Danes. It's coached there by the Swedish number 2, who is Emil Aberg. Slicing it off and out on the full for what will be a Danish ball. Just to alert you to a couple of the major players here in both teams. We'll be looking out for Aberg and Johan Lantz in the Swedish team. Also Tobias Stahl and indeed Fredrik Ryberg have been very impressive, as well as Gaetan Blondeau. Begins to settle a little from what has been quite a scrappy start. It's been played out on the near flank here. David Verngren goes down on the ball, chips a heavy tackle. Umpires in quickly to dispel any Scandinavian feuds. He's going to pop the ball up. Swedish number 16, Jens Osterkamp. Jens has been very competitive in the Rook all day. The ball now is David Wahlberg. David sends it in looking for a mark. It spills away from Jens Osterkamp. Very unlucky there, the Swedes. Nicely inside the 50 for the first real period of pressure. It's Nathan Campion on the ball for Denmark. There's a chance to kick it in long. Send in, but a mark taken there. In towards the pocket by the number 10, Anton Tellstrom. Long, beautiful take there in centre field area. It's quite cagey to begin with here. Slow to develop. There's a nice mark taken by the Swedish number 18, Max Wallmark. Max passes across to Johan Lantz. Johan's a fine footballer, loses control of it there. Tries to develop. Sends it out into centre field. Contested there, breaks down to Tobias Stahl. Tobias sends it in long. David Verngren turns his marker, but I think there might have been a nudge in the back there, but the umpire has been in and spotted. Nice indeed. It gives the advantage to Thor Lauritsen of the Danes. Quickly gets the play underway again. Sends it out of the pocket, out towards the flank. Half-back flank now. Kicks it up high and long in towards Mikhail Kolja. Ball goes out of bounds. Quite a nice crowd gathered here at DCU this morning for this what is a third, fourth place playoff. There's a fine take by David Verngren on the edge of the 50. Is he going to look to press home an advantage here? Kick the first score in the match. Looks to send it in. Oh, it's good approach play there. Can he handball it off? Tobias Stahl is fighting for possession, but it's turned over by the Danes. Danes have been strong in the tackle. Players in there, makes a quick call. And Oscar Magnusson's going to get on the ball here. He's going to have a kick at goal for the Swedes. And this should be our first score. Kicks at goal. And kicks it behind, which opens the scoring for the Swedes. The Danes build from the back. Short passing game here. Oh, that's nicely played by the Danish number 1, Christopher Campion. Sent in long. Oh, there could be a mark here. Oh, it spills from his grasp. I think it was number 15 for Denmark, Mikael Norlander, who seemed for all the world to be in a very good position to take a mark right deep in the pocket. As we watch the Swedes defend intently. The umpires in quickly. One here at the moment. Contacts are strong. A lot of tackles being made. A lot of interceptions. See Fredrik Rydberg there, trying to get on the ball. Sent up towards the Swedish number 19. That's Joel Spran. The Swedes are using their full panel today. A lot of guys who maybe haven't had game time all week seem to have begun this game. They're showing some promise early on. Long ball sent in and a great mark taken. I think it's that man again. It's Swedish number 15, is it? Mikael Norlander. For what he lost the last time, he made up for there with a great mark just inside the 50. And he's going to have a kick at goal here. Fancies his chances. Kicks it long, straight and right through. And in for a goal. That's a great start for Denmark, considering that they've had a hard fight for possession there. I'll take this opportunity maybe to introduce one of my co-commentators for today, Kieran Hart. Kieran, maybe give us a little bit of an insight on where the game has developed so far.
Well, a great goal kick there by Norlander, and following on from the 4 goals he kicked on Thursday, so he's having an excellent tournament. I have been very interested to watch this match for the battle of the midfields. The 2 Scandinavian countries, their small men have just been so classy all tournament. Here's Kjell coming out there for Denmark. He's been one of them. Here's Lance of Sweden, another one who's been great all tournament. Handballs across there, looks over, sizes up. Here's a great opportunity here. 23 for Sweden, has in the middle of the ground now. That is Martinsen. He came on well and strong last game. Verns now running into Verngren. Dave Verngren off the ground, and it's a fantastic soccer goal by David Verngren. Straight through the match. That is a cracking goal by David Verngren. Answers Denmark's earlier goal with one of their own, and things are back to being a level piece here. A great goal. I was just in the midst of saying that we had seen a battle of the midfields, and what we really enjoyed seeing there was those middlemen go at it. And in the midfield, you can see here for Sweden, we've got Johansson, who is just an excitement machine whenever he gets near the ball. Lance is always powerful all day. You've also had some fantastic play. Emil Arberg sometimes sneaks up there. Erik Salen is a great player as well. He has been great in the midfield. And of course for Denmark, you've got Christopher Campion, you've got Mikael Kjell, who's involved there, and Matthias Byron, who I think's been the best midfielder in the competition to date. The number 4 for Denmark is being heavily tagged there in the middle of the ground. Down it comes to Lance for Sweden. He gets a kick away. It goes up into the forward line. And down, not bad. Vergen's got another chance at this. He kicks up, lines in the pocket. He's got 2 in a row. 2 within a minute. David Verngren has put Sweden in front. That is excellent play by Sweden.
I'd agree with you totally there, Kieran. We've seen what has been a great reply to that early opening goal from Denmark. Sweden moving the ball a little bit more directly, sending it in early. David Verngren helped out in there by the number 23 for Sweden, Chris Mortensen, who broke that ball off to him, and this has opened up into what's going to be a keenly contested affair. Midfield's on top to begin with, possession at a premium. We're looking now at a game that's finally poised in this first quarter. It's quite exciting. With the score at 13-6 in favour of the Swedes. There's Emil Aberg fighting for possession. Gaetan Blondeau is in there as well. Looking towards the Danish team here, trying to work that ball up towards the 50. Sent in long. That's Anderson. Campion on the ball now. Sends it in towards the number 19, Jones. And the umpire's going to give the advantage there. It's a little outside the 50. Probably a little bit adventurous to take on a kick from here, but he seems to go for it. He sent it in there long, in towards the number 15, Norlander. Ball breaks away and harmlessly goes out of bounds. Swedes are funneling back, keen to contest any possession available. Number 2 for Iskaja. It's an attempted goal blocked down there by the Swedish number 6. That's Natis Johansson. However, redeems himself slightly in that it's a Danish possession over on the far flank, and a chance from inside the 50 here to have a kick at goal. It's a poor grubber kick. Sent across. Johan Lantz tries to contest it for Sweden. It's won down there by the famously named Axel Bang. I don't think I've ever heard a more appropriate name for an AFL player. And it's drifted out there towards the Swedish number 23. That is Chris Mortensen. Returned over by the Danes. Danes, Bang is on it again. Bang, bang, bang. And away we go. Byron Jensen sends it in long. Tries to pick out some of his pockets or the inside forwards. Breaks loose there. So Bang is contesting a lot of the possessions here. Seems to be full of heart, Axel Bang. Seems to put his head where many wouldn't put their heart or any other limb of any make or description. Swedes win the break. Develop it long again. Jens Osterkamp's off after this, but it's turned over by the Danes. The Danes work it short, handball it up. Sent in there. Aberg gets on it. That's Anderson. Great mark just on the 50, and let's see if he can make up for that poor grubber kick earlier. Sends it in. It's turned over in there by the Swedes, and Tellstrom is on it. Handballs it off. It's a dangerous hanging ball. Holsgaard's got on it. Aberg shows great composure there to take possession of the ball. Releases the pressure a little out into the centre. Gaetan Blondeau is on it. He sends it over towards the number 8, that's Tobias Gogu. He's on it again, and now they seem to have developed straight through. Is that style? Yes, and that's kicked in and through for a goal. What a fantastic left-footed kick. Well developed there by the Swedes. Made in Sweden, delivered in Sweden, finished in Dublin. And over to you, Kieran.
That was beautiful play. Great finish to Tobias Stoll on the left foot there. Hasn't kicked too many goals this tournament, but he made no doubt about that one. But fantastic play in the lead up to that from Gogu and even Blondeau. I thought it was going to be Denmark's ball in the half forward flank, but they slipped and just turned over so quickly for a goal. Paulsgaard up again on the ruck against Warburg for Sweden. Kicked out by Lantz. Here comes that's Salin. Salin comes out of the pack. Ball comes out. Here's Bang. Bang looks for Byron. Byron turns around. Out of the pack. Strong. Bang again. He gets his hands to the ball. Salin tackles him. Umpire says Axel Bang didn't have it. Free kick against Salin. This is what we're here to see today, this fantastic midfield. They are by far the classiest two midfields in the competition as a whole group. Handball over the top again. Here comes Salin. Handball up. Salin's running around the pack. Knocked on again. That was pretty smart play. Here comes Lance charging at it. Lance gets it on the boundary line. I think it's beaten him all over. Trolls Otterson locks him up and throws him to the ground just in case. And it's going to be a ball up.
Free kick to Charles Otterson. The umpire is quick and decisive there. Sent across into the centre. Searching for Norlander again. Showing plenty from inside, and there's the hooter that goes for the end of the first quarter. That brings us to a little bit of a break, a little bit of respite from an exciting contest with Sweden at 19, Denmark at 6. One notable absentee for the Swedes, curiously today, is Tony McLaughlin from Dublin, from Portmarnock here, an Irish national resident in Sweden, and I know that he travelled here with his girlfriend Nina and the two little girls, Elba and Hannah, and perhaps we'll search out. He must be injured or carrying some kind of knock, but isn't part of the match day squad as of yet that we've seen on the field. I see Coach McClar, Chalky, coming out there, going to deliver a few nuggets of information to that Swedish team who've had a relatively handsome quarter, but the Danes have been very competitive, and we're in for an exciting second quarter when we come back. In for the second quarter here. In glorious sunshine in DCU. These championships have had a great week. realistically here, and we're looking forward to a very exciting neighbours final this afternoon, the grand final between the GB Bulldogs and the Irish Warriors. But in the meantime, we've got the Scandinavian derby. Neither team willing to give an inch. Here's the Swedish number, or the Danish number 14, Troels Ottesen, was on the ball there, fighting hard for possession. That's Eric Salin. Eric, who is a notoriously fast player, likes to develop the play quickly as well. And you see this, the Danish number 6, Lauritsen, sends it in long. This is the number 29, Niels Schoenemann Rosberg. Mikael Kajde helps him out, sends it into the pocket. That's great play there. I think the umpire is probably going to give the advantage. No, he's giving it for an out-of-bouncer.
And of course, if you're watching us via Air TV or the score.aa, please tweet us in what you're thinking. Hashtag EC13. We've got a great tag. Oh, pulled off the ball there. Was Salem. We've got a great tag here by Jakob Lantz, who said, if dear brother Johan Lantz, who is of course a number 4 for Sweden, is going to try a don't argue tackle, he needs to spend more time with the weights. Hashtag 2 week. That is some great brotherly love sent across from the telegraphs there. Poulsgaard here for Denmark has the ball, kicks long, pops it up. Who's he looking for? Arberg comes over the top with a great lead, knocks the ball down. And there is Korg. Korg kicks it out. He looks like he's got Anderson waiting out wide. That was smart play there by the Denmarks to find some space and find a man. And here's a chance for the Danes now to put a goal on the board.
Indeed, here we are, just coming up to the 50. Good chance here. Kick it good. Sends it in long and high. And it's out for a behind. Moves the scores on a little. That brings us to 13-2. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's Denmark. Yeah, 19-7. Apologies for that. A little bit of a technical hitch here. We've had gremlins all week. They've been lurking in the trees behind us here at DCU.
As the ball goes out of play, we have another tweet in here from Port Malmo AFL Football Club. Ripping start, fellas. Go Elks. Indeed, it has been a ripping start. I'd say that first quarter was possibly... Here's Byron. Matthias Byron from Denmark. It's the ball out in front of him again. Here's Johan Lantz. We mentioned him before. Who's going to get the free kick here? It looks like it could be Byron, yep. Matthias Byron, who I think has been the premier on-baller of this competition, the number 4 for Denmark. He has been great to watch. He kicks it up high over the head. Great mark by Bang. Hasn't been paid. Gets knocked down. And goes over the boundary line for another throw-in. Deep into Denmark's forward 50. They're going to need a few more goals here. They're still behind in play. They are playing well. It's a free kick. It was over the shoulder. It's coming back to the ruckman for Sweden there. It was out of the ruck contest. It looks like Wahlberg. It is Wahlberg that's going to take this kick. Emil Arberg starts running over to his left. He wants the play to switch. It goes up though, that far left wing. Puts Johansson under a lot of pressure. That was Bang Jørg. Denmark marked that kick. Looks across, looks at his options. Palsberg's down there in the forward 50. Palsberg goes up and takes a great mark. Fantastic mark there by Poulsgaard. And he's going to go back now and have a shot, I might say 30 metres out, to really bring Denmark back into this game. They have started off this second quarter in great fashion.
They certainly have. The ball has dominated their sector, or their attacking sector of the field. And here we see an opportunity to kick a score. Second in a short period of time. Slices it off his boot. Oh, it was intercepted there by... Who's that in the pocket? I'll just check that in a second, but it was unfortunate. It seemed to be running out for a behind, but fell from the grasp of the tall Danish number 9, Jonas Starbuck Nielsen. Umpire indicating Nielsen's he's going to have a shot at goal here. He's got the advantage there. Clear what was signalled there by the umpire. this is a fulsome opportunity to kick a goal here. This quarter has seen the Danes get on top in this Scandinavian derby. Takes his time, steadies, it's a good kick, right in, and a goal. And that brings us to 1913. Here's the game finally poised, heading towards the half-time. See the Irish team gathering below us here, looking very relaxed. I see Brian O'Connell down there. Some of the others, some of the coaching staff, they seem very eager to take in the sights here ahead of the big game this afternoon. Out in the centre field again, battle begins. Two towers pass up for it. Swedish number 7 there was David Wahlberg. It's been lively so far. The Danes scrapping for possession. Swedes fighting. There's Wahlberg on the ball. Sends it cross field. The number 11 there is Hampus Olsen. Hampus loses possession. It's turned over. The Danes are looking to develop down the flanks. It's well intercepted there by the Swedish number 18. That's Max Wallmark. Max, who's playing on the half-back flank position. There when Sweden are defending. That's covering very well, working very hard on Rosberg. As it Kog sends it in long and high. Oh, it breaks away. Let's see. That's Nielsen. Nielsen sends it across. It's very scrappy here. Play is getting a little bit untidy. Here are the Danes sending it in again. Goes in over the top, down deep into the pocket. Is it going to stay in bounds? It's a strong challenge there, and it just runs off out of bounds. But definitely the absence of Norlander in there in the pocket seems obvious, although they've gotten some scores and some change out of the players that they have in the forward line. There's Gaetan Blondeau, sends it across, goes for a return. There's the Swedish number 12, Oscar Magnusson. Ball breaks away, well defended by the Danes, but there's Blondeau again, handballs it off, and it's taken by the number 25. That's Robin Nielsen. Robin's the unsung hero of this Swedish midfield at times. Seems to scrap for possession. Seems very eager to make things count. Garner some possession for this Swedish squad. There's the captain, Johan Lantz, aforementioned from the Twitter feed that we're getting here. Doesn't have his tackling shoes on there, but gives it a fine punt upfield, and the mark there is taken by Jens Osterkamp, and Jens will look to send it in long, probably towards David Verngren. Got some change out of that in the first half, or in the first quarter. Here we are. Aforementioned Verngren. Lovely little turn, but the ball beats him to the out of bounds line.
Well, it certainly has been a great battle of his midfields, but also the half-back flank liner holding up strong too. It's only a goal in it here. Denmark have definitely been on the rise this quarter. Sweden need to settle that down for themselves, maybe kick a goal to keep that distance, because Denmark are coming at them strong. All the stars have been out today. For what I've been very impressed with these two teams over the competition. Here's Axel Bang taking a kick out of the back pocket. He kicks it long, lands over the top, spins out. That's number 11 from Denmark. Great play, but he's been caught there holding the ball. Johan Lantz kept at him there. Didn't get the ball in the first place, but kept at him, tackled him hard, and he now has the ball 55 metres out from goal. So this distance is going to trouble him some. He's going for it long. Kicked it in. Oh, lovely pass. I think that's Osterstam. That is a fantastic pass there from Lantz. Straight into the pocket. He's now only about 20 metres outside from goal. It's a tight angle though. Will he be able to put this through? Kick looks good off the boot. Sprays to the left. And that's one behind to Sweden. So the score is for Sweden. They are on now 20 points versus Denmark's 2-goal 1-13. 20 to 13. Here come the Danes out of the back pocket. Kicked up long. There's Kjorg. Fantastic mark, and off he goes. He's going to take a bounce. He's running through the middle. Geez, he's got some toes, this kid. He's burned off two players. Takes two bounces into the 50. He's had a shot for goal. God, he must have been tired after that big run. He sprayed that kick at the end. It was a fantastic bit of play. Took the mark and then just went for it, bang, for two bounces straight up the middle.
Indeed, that was a great pattern of play there from the Danes. Best footballing skills we've seen in the game so far. That's just gone out over the out of bounds line. That was the Danish number 3, Campion, Nathan Campion, who's contesting possession. Sorry, correction there. We seem to have a change of jerseys. That was William Anderson. Danes fighting for possession out in the middle. This is number 21, Westergaard. Turned over, Gaetan Blondeau. It's a little bit of a blunder. That's Eric Salin approaching the ball, but it beats everyone to the out of bounds line. Right down in front of us here, where you see the Irish squad as they prepare or relax ahead of their afternoon date with the GB Bulldogs, which is coming up here. It was a great bit of play. Well mixed up in here by the Danish number 10, Jensen. Very hard. Central to all of that, obviously, is Axel Bang as well. Axel's had a big performance here so far. He's on the ball now. Here he goes across the 50. He's got a chance here. Kicks it nicely, but it just slides by the upright and out for a behind. But that closes the gap a little further to 20 to 14 in favour of the Swedes. Finally poised, heading towards the half-time hooter. It's Emil Eberg sending it out long. Oh, great mark there taken by the Danish number 10. That's Jensen. Jensen kicks it in, searching. Oh, Axel Bang was on that, and yes, it's a Danish free kick right in front of goal. And this looks like Anderson is going to level up the match. He's going to tie us up, is he? Earnhardt is on paddypower.com just as we speak, and he kicks a goal, and Kieran seems very happy after that. I reckon he was backing him all the way. So that ties us up nicely at 20 points apiece. What do you make of that, Kieran?
Fantastic bit of play by the Danes, and we have a match on our hands now, 20 apiece. And I love watching the battle of these midfields. I really am. The skills on these two different midfields have been silkier and classier than all of the other games we've seen. Other games we've seen a lot of bang and crash and it's been balls. We've got a set of square infringement here. It's been happening in all competition. Too hard to give away. Palsgaard's going to get the kick out. He kicks it up long. Number 23 is going to run on, boot it again. Deep for Denmark again. Who's up for this contest? Ball flies over the back and a great mark taken there by the number 11. That is Hampus Olsen, who kicks it out along the wide. Salen's up for a big leap. Can't quite take it. He's still on the ground there. Well played. Here comes Emil Arbu. Kicks it long deep in the forward line. And those are running around it. Ball beats everyone and goes over the boundary line. This has been a fantastic match to watch. The skills have been exceptional. You just get the sense because the skills are better and the guys are so quick, there seems to be much more space out in the playing field. It's not all bang and cluster like we've seen a lot of the matches with the other teams. So Timbo, I'm absolutely loving this game of football for the moment for the viewing pleasure. Lance has got it, turns around from outside 50, puts it in, all out it, all over the top. Joel Sprang's on the top of the ball. He tries to clear it. Blondeau's there as well. Joel Sprang picks it up, a few steps backward, handles it over, can't get it out. It's cleared there by Denmark. Only so far though. It's a number 18 for Sweden who turns around and from 50 launches. And misses everything there, and it's got out of bounds and on the full.
I have to agree with you there, Kieran, and we seem to be enduring what has been probably the nicest period of weather that we've had all week. This searing heat out there of about 24 degrees, and certainly it's admirable to see both teams toiling away in this nice weather. I have to pay tribute to the umpires as well, who've been very consistent all week. We haven't had very many complaints, and they've been working very, very hard at administering justice in these games that are very well organised. In an Irish context, I have to say, teams very well prepared, very well turned out. It's a very impressive competition, and I think AFL will only be on the rise in all of the participating countries here as a result of these championships. The Danes, stout defending, Axel Bang sprinting after that one, goes out of bounds. Umpire sends it in. One there by Gaetan Blondeau, strong tackle. Danes are working very hard at getting the ball out, handballed off. That looks like Osterkamp. No, it's not. It's the number 23, Chris Martinson. He's fighting for possession there for Sweeten. Tickles across the out of bounds line, and the hooter goes for half time. And I'm sure a little bit of respite for our officials as well as for both teams as we hit half time with the scores tied up at 20 points apiece. And this is a red hot Scandinavian derby. We're really looking forward to the third quarter, and it'll be interesting to see what the coaches on both sides will have to say to their players now as they try to restore the empty batteries heading into what is going to be the final half of this match, the third quarter. And both teams have contributed handsomely to the contests that they've participated in all week. They're bound to be tired limbs and tired bodies out there as we reach Championship Saturday, and we look forward to the second half when you rejoin us here on Air TV and thescore.ie. As Kieran said, and I might just pass over to him for a second, the Twitter hashtags are...
So the Twitter hashtags EC13. Make sure if you're at home watching live streaming, you do let us know how you're going. This has been the best half of football we've seen for the tournament, and is absolutely leading up to a cracking second half to this match. It is the playoff for 3 versus 4 here at the 2013 AFL Europe Championships. It is going to go down to the wire, I get the sense, and you're going to see some cracking football. So stay tuned. You are watching through Air TV and thescore.ie. We'll be back with more of the 2013 AFL Europe Championship.
Half-time in the third, fourth-place playoff. It's Sweden 3-2-20, Denmark 3-2-20.
Łapać tą całą ekipę, nie? Ale tłum, który tam jest, ale z szerszego punktu widzenia on wtedy tłum niższego, nie? No to może być. Tam jeszcze pytanie.
both teams exit their halftime huddles, Coach McClar and Coach Finson have both passed their words of expertise and wisdom to both squads as we prepare for the beginning third quarter. Crucial period in the match here now. Teams finally poised at 20 points each, and the battle of the midfields is set to begin again. Salin went for it, missed it. Danes have got possession. Byron on the ball. Hands off to the umpire to pop it up again. Some fierce contests here in the centre field area. 21 on the ball is Westergaard. Looks to gain possession. Doesn't, it's scrappy. Umpires in quickly. Gives Westergaard the advantage. Looks across. Fires it into the centre. Mark taken there by the number 30. That's Palsgaard. Palsgaard looks wide to Loritzen. This is some nice football from the Danes. Anderson on the ball now. Looks up. Flings it in. Nice kick. Oh, it's spilled from the grasp of the 29 there. That's Rosberg, we hope. Oh, there's a dangerous connection there with the head. The umpire's in pretty quickly. And he's going to give the Danes the advantage here. Danes just inside the 50. Their number 2, Kodja. Kicks it in high, in towards the pocket. Out came Norlander, spilled from his grasp. It's the number 11, Hampus Olsen. Feeds it to his captain, Johan Lance. Nice kick out into centre field, but a lot of red jerseys starting to dominate that area. Number 16, Chauvin. Emil Leberg tries to contest it. Is that Lance in after him? Umpire calls it back. He's going to throw it in here. No quarter being asked or given here at this stage. Johan Lance on the ball again, handballs it off. Sends it off, but Byron regains possession for the Danes and is just shoved over the line and out of bounds. Brings the play back into the centre field area. Kodja on the ball. Kick is half blocked down. Eric Salin looks to get on the return. Umpire indicates its advantage to the Danes. Great incisive running by the Danish forward line, but that's a great mark taken by Eric Salin, and great leap. He leapt with his colleague there, Emil Leberg, and he's going to look to clear the play downfield. Gaetan Blondeau is going to be in under this. Falls off, and David Verngren. That's Kodja, is it on the ball? Yes, sends it over into the centre. The mysterious number 30, who we've not yet identified, is Palsgaard. Palsgaard handballs it off. To the 13. The 13 is Rose. Rose sends it in long and high, hangs in the air, and a mark taken there by the 29. The 29 is Scotland. Nicholas James Scotland. A great piece of play there, passage of play, and it's developed, and we see the Danes slightly getting on top. They're dominating their attacking sector of the field as this game is so finely poised in this Scandinavian derby. What do you make of it, Kieran?
It has finally poised in the moment. Scores haven't ticked over at the start of this quarter, but we've seen a good bit of end-to-end football. Ball going to be thrown up here now in the quarter. And the forward flank pressing for the Danes. Ball comes over the top. The Danes have been able to get back again. Handball up. It's a hot ball in that pocket. Bodies are flying into that pack. We're going to have another boundary throw in. Really do get a sense that Denmark have got a good defensive wall happening here. Every time Sweden seem to get a kick out of it, it's going into the arms of the Danes. They're structuring up well. Have another throw up here in the middle of the ground. Korsgaard goes up, wins that down for Denmark, comes over the back. There's Kieran again in there fighting fierce tackling going on in the middle. Bodies being absolutely knocked to the ground. Umpire says it's going nowhere and he's going to throw it up. Throw it up straight away. Polkard again gets down. Lovely handball there from the Denmark. 1-2. Gets it out in the middle of play. Sees a man up ahead. Sweden have taken this. It's Lance. Lance kicks it out to the wing. It's a foot race now. Can Jones get there for Denmark? He does. And a big punch towards the boundary line by the senior Jones. Good senior head on him there. Looked for the boundary line and absolutely made sure it went over. Here we go, set up again. Denmark looking to score. Byron knocks the ball down. Here comes to Rose. Rose gets her hands out. It's Anderson. Anderson, fierce tackle landed on Anderson. Ball spills from that tackle. Martinson's in there for Sweden. The umpire says we're going to have a throw up. Almost right in front of the broadcast.
Some great defensive play there by the Danes indeed. This first passage of play, we've really seen the Swedes shake off the lateralness of their play so far. The Danes had pushed up quite considerably and most of the pressure was in the other half of the field, but now we find ourselves down on this half flank area where we're looking at both teams contesting for possession very tightly. I think the advantage is going Sweden's way here for a heavy challenge on the 24. That's Conor Moynihan. Conor, who's a Cork man, I believe. I'll tell you a little bit more about him as we move along. Campion on the ball, down quickly. He's swallowed up there by the Swedes, and I think that's Lance who finally locked him up. And for the throw-in, contested by Osterkamp. Knocked down to Lance. Lance fires it in high, in towards Verngren. He takes a fantastic mark right in front of the goals, right in the pocket. Heavy challenge, heavy landing, but he kept the ball within his grasp, and he's got a surefire chance now to kick a goal here for the Swedes to put them into a 26-20 lead. What has been a really tightly poised quarter thus far. Here's David Verngren, kicks a goal, and the Swedes can celebrate that because scores are at a premium here. We're looking at great opportunities not really being capitalised upon, and a lot of play in the centre field area. The Swedes are starting to regroup now. They've found a path to goal and they're ready to try and drive home whatever advantage they can. The elements seem to be sweeping across the field there. You'll notice from our camera feed where you'll see the tricolours on the far side as the crowd gather up for what is the grand final, which will be coming to you live at 4 o'clock. Free kick to Rose. Looks across, sees the 16. The 16 is shove home. Is he going to handball it off? No. He's marked by Polsgaard. Here we go now. We're looking at the Danes trying to get a quick fire answer in to that last score and that last take by Verngren. Norlander comes across. He's unlucky there. Ball breaks the way of Sweden. Can they clear it? Some heavy tackling there. Axel Bang was in on top of it. Anderson has it. He's got a chance. He sliced the kick. It's a fantastic score. What do you make of that, Kieran?
Anderson had the ball at his feet, stood up, burst through a tackle, kicked check side on his right foot there, bananaed it in, and kicked what is one of the goals of the tournament to get Denmark right back into that. Anderson, fantastic play by the little midfielder there. They have put on quite a show for us, these small, snappy half forwards, and it's great to see them getting on the end and kicking some goals as well.
Indeed, I couldn't agree more. Some lovely footballing skills there shown as he sliced or banana kicked that right just inside the left upright for a goal, and that leaves us tied up again. Game finally poised as we head towards the hooter. The Danes have a renewed confidence and a vigour about them after that. Byron on the ball sends it in. It's gathered on the 50 there by Tobias Stahl. Now we see Byron again. Looking, hanging it up there for the mark, but there's a great take there by the Swedish number 29, Persson, who has has been very good today. 24 is Conor Moynihan. Moynihan's on the ball. There are two Swedes flanked on the ground over here. The umpire's in just to check on things. It's Johansson. Sends it out long. Lance rises. Doesn't gather possession. Some heavy tackling now going in. And Lance probably drags it across. It's over the out of bounds line on the far side. And a little bit of afters there. It's the first sign of any friction between these two peaceful nations. To say we haven't needed to call on the UN or any of these strapping Aussies that are hanging out in the commentary box here with me, and we've had peace so far pretty much throughout the tournament. It's been a very well run tournament, as I said earlier. Umpires have been policing things relatively well, and here's an umpire's call very quickly giving the advantage to Denmark. Anderson's on it, kicks it in long, searches out for Norlander. Oh, he's taking a great mark right in deep in the pocket, and this is probably going to bring us right up to the hooter with the Danes having seized the advantage.
Fantastic play again by none other than Anderson. Had the free kick out of that last pack. Kicked it long, and Norlander used his body. The Swedish were asking for pans in the back. He kicks now. Kicks truly. He likes it. The Denmark boys get over to him. That is fantastic play by Denmark. That really does tighten it up again in this game. We are now Denmark hitting the front 32-26. 1 goal in it. It'll be absolutely crackerjack last quarter we're looking at here. We can't be too far now from the 3/4 time siren. They were just very strong in. They've pushed and pushed. And again, they've got their noses in front, the Danes. Can they do it? It has been an excellent match. Lots of great highlights here and just lots of free-flowing play. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Tap down. Here comes Lance. He must have been best on ground so far. Kjurg's in there as well. Huge body contact. Lance gets it out. Great play. Here come the Swedes. Can they get a goal before the 3/4 time siren? Martinsson on the ball. Just beats him over the line. It's going to be a throw in. Lance has been huge in this match. He's been around it everywhere. Johansson, the excite machine for Sweden, comes to the side of the pack here. Will the ball get to him? Byron's in there as always. Ball gets to the back. There's Lance, just speaking of him. Tied up in a great tackle though by Poulsgaard. And that is going to be another throw up.
Swedes are pressing on here. Denmark have adopted a pretty defensive approach now. They look to be happy to just get to that hooter by hanging on. Some great footballing skills by Anderson. The orchard is robbed there by Magnusson. Magnusson passes across to Johansson. Johansson looks wide to Valmark. Valmark inside to Gaetan Blondeau, who's wrapped up in a cracker of a tackle there. And the Danes are taking any and every advantage that they can. That was the number 25, Simon Malone, who was excellent there. We see it moving up the flank. It's going to be contested here. It's the number 14, Charles Oddison. The advantage goes the way of... No, it's a throw up. Looked like it was going the way of Sweden there for a moment. Up we go. Who's going to win the break here? Comes the way of Kajja. He's been very consistent for the Danes thus far. And that right flank has been prominent in both in both of the quarters of the last quarters, particularly across on this side in the last quarter, and now dominating on the far wing. So we'd say that the right half flank has been probably where most of the play has taken place. And really, when Denmark have moved the ball at speed and at length, they've made hay while the sun shone here. That's Salin, Eric Salin, very lively, quick player. Oh, it hops up nicely for Blondeau, but it beats him to the out of bounds line. However, the Swedes will be happy to have gained the territory. They've moved up towards that Danish 50. Up goes Salin again, a great leap. Blondeau's after it, but it's turned over by the Danes. Let's see, there's a strong tackle in the back, and it goes across the out of bounds line. That must bring us very close to hooter time. We seem to have had a huge amount of midfield play in this quarter. Scores have been at a premium. Denmark gaining the advantage. There's Salin on the ball again. He's becoming prominent down there, and it goes out and over the out-of-bounds line. Coach McClar, he's looking to his bench. He looks quite pensive at this stage. Chalky, the teacher from the international school in Malmo, and he's got to resurrect his troops now to get back on terms in this match. Otherwise, they're going to be staring down the barrel of being fourth in this contest. And as the third quarter hooter goes, we head towards the final quarter with the game finally poised and the score at 32-26 in favour of Denmark. Okay, we're ready for the off again here. The final quarter is the final throw of the dice now for both teams in this third, fourth place playoff. Swedes seem very enthusiastic after coming out of their huddle there with McClar. The number 4 for Denmark there was Byron. Byron sent it in long and towards the number 10 Jensen. It's fed off there. It's won brilliantly by the Swedish captain Johan Lantz. Swedes look to develop it quickly. Umpire brings the play forward. Got into the centre now. Options are open. Aberg is on. Lance looks to run it. Sends it in long towards Stahl. Stahl's fighting for possession there. Comes off Aberg, trades it up with Salin. Salin sends it in. Gaetan Blondeau looks to get on the ball. He's locked up there, I think. It's the umpire indicating a throw up. And we're inside that Danish 50. Critical territory being won here by the Swedes. The Swedes are fighting hard to get possession if they can. Well defended by the Danes. The Danes get it out towards the middle of the field. Aberg is on it. Emil Aberg has been Mr. Consistency for Sweden this week. Sees the possession out of bounds, and Coach McClar is quick to feed it back in. Up they go for it. Ottesen sends it in high and long. It's fought for there inside. That's Norlander. Had a chance. It was a bit of a snapshot. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds harmlessly. It's end to end here, and certainly no team are giving up any inches at all. And it is very much a game of inches in the early stages of this final quarter. Aberg fights for possession again. It's out and over the end line and out of bounds. Parked now right in that Swedish 50 in the Ballymun Road end of the DCU grounds here, and what a magnificent stadium this has provided for these games this week. Playing facilities have been top class. I know they're used by the Dublin GAA team, and indeed I'm sure Jim Gavin would be looking at the likes of Eric Salin as being a likely runner if he was stationed here in Dublin. That's a great mark taken there, deep inside his own 50. The Danes look to work it short. They've built very well from this type of play previously. That's Kjorg looking for it. Picked up by Stahl. Great block and great. Byron is on it. He's gotten an inch. That's a huge contact there from the Swedish number 29, and the umpires are indicating, I think, advantage to the Danes, but the contact that was brought into the game there by Tony Persson, he really rocked Byron to his very core. It's out over the end line for an out of bounds toss in, and up it goes. Byron's contesting it. Let's see. The Swedes seem to have committed some of their bigger players forward. That's Johansson, is it? That is Johansson. Aberg is getting on the ball, and he seems to be like the postman here. Johansson. Stahl is in after it, but the Danes are fighting for every crust. Campion on the ball. Looks to handball it off. Gives it wide. Turnover there is Wahlberg. Wahlberg inside towards Salin. Salin's everywhere at the moment. That's sent across to Frederick Rybert. Rybert going to take possession here. He looks up, handballs it off, gets it back, gets a return. A great block there, and a heavy knock to the face taken by one of the centre fielders on the Danish side. Medical attention coming towards him. The ball goes in towards Norlander. Norlander scraps for possession with Tellstrom. Tellstrom on the ball, turns it over nicely, lays it off to Valmark. Valmark loses possession, and this is critical now. Norlander on the ball. It's roaming harmlessly in there, and it's out for a behind for Denmark. And could that be a crucial score at this stage in the match? Kieran, what do you think?
That puts them 7 points up now, so it's Denmark 33, plays Sweden 26, so a goal and 1 point needed. Of course, Matthias Byron again involved in that last play. Into the pack and straight out was what allowed that ball to be kicked in a goal. I've been so impressed as the kick is in again. That's another point for Denmark. They're now 8 points up ahead. I've been so impressed with the courage shown by the small Danish players. Matthias Byron and before Kjorg got absolutely smashed over here on the boundary line, and they keep putting their bodies where it need to be to get that first possession. They've been fantastic. Tobias Stahl has it out here in the wing for Sweden, but he kicks it out pretty quickly, and it's gone out of bounds and on the full. This has been a cracking game of football to watch, I must say. Skills have been great, and we've seen some fantastic goals kicked, and it is very, very pensive, as you said before, Finbar. 8 points of difference now. It's only 2 goals. Sweden do look like they can get the ball, and if they do get a bit of space, they can certainly make you pay and kick the goals. So this match is anywhere but finished at the moment.
It's been a telling contest. It's been a very physical contest. You can see from the Swedish players as the replacements roll in. We've had lots of heavy contact, a lot of football being played in this match. Ball hasn't been dead very often for very long, and there's been little, if any, time for recovery here. The umpire is in. He's signalling an advantage to Sweden, is he? No, he's giving it to Denmark. Denmark are going to have a kick at goal here inside the 50. And this territory and these kicks now are critical in terms of a Swedish comeback. There's a long high kick in. It looks good. It looks good, and it's true for a behind. The umpire took a little bit of time making his decision. Aberg's on the ball. We've 9 points between the teams now. It still remains 2 goals, but realistically, the Swedes have got to get possession. They've got to get territory. They've got to get up the field. Blondeau is beaten by the hop. The hop goes the way of Nielsen. Nielsen feeds it into the centre, where Martinson gets on it, sends it up towards Salin. He goes up, piercing into the air, gets it in the back, and a free kick to the Swedes in what is a fairly central position just inside the 50. I have to say Salin is an excellent vertical jumper.
And the Danish player has pushed him in the back. After the push in the back, has thrown the ball away, and that means 50 metres is paid. So the ball gets brought forward 50 metres, and Erik Salin is going to be kicking for goal now from point-blank range. So that was a silly bit of play by the Danish player there to give him this infringement. Erik Salin lining up now from right in front of goals. This to bring the margin back. He's kicked it. The margin now 3 points. 3 points the difference now. It is Denmark 35, Sweden trailing 32. Only 1 kick the difference now. 3 points the difference separates these teams. We have an epic clash and an epic finish on our hands for this one.
It's finely poised. I think I've used that quite a few occasions today, but it's fitting of the occasion. This match is resting on a tightrope now. Winning possession is vital. Up they go. The Danes look to have garnered it, and they have indeed. It's sent down in towards the pocket. Who's on it? It's Oddison. On a snapshot, he almost kicked it behind, and behinds are going to be critical here. It's going to come down to inches and points at the end of the day. It goes out over the out-of-bounds line, and we're going to have a throw-in right down deep in the pocket. The territory is welcomed. Who's up for it? Aberg. No, it's Lance, the Swedish captain. Oh, he hooks his kick. Is it going to stay in play? No, it goes right out on the full. The Danes are on it here now. They look to drive home the advantage of the territory here. There's Norlander making a lovely little run. He's going to contest this, is he? Oh, he just carries it out over the end line. His physical presence in there, in that forward line, has been a huge advantage to the Danes. When he's been on the field, they've looked potent, they've looked dangerous, and they've really delivered what has been probably the performance of the week here. The Swedes would have been fancied having given Ireland a good game on Saturday, and indeed Coach McClare was confident coming into this tournament that they would see things through. And here we are now, finally poised right late in the game, looking at the opportunity of seeing this game through for Denmark.
It looks like there's plenty of plays around this ball. We've seen that Sweden have moved all of their forwards down, trying to get this ball out of the Denmark's forward line. So there's plenty of space if Sweden can get this ball. But here's Anderson. Anderson comes around from 50, kicks from 50 metres. That could be the game. What an amazing goal by Anderson. Roved out of the pack, took the ball from 50 metres out, has slammed it home. That is an amazing goal. And surely that wins the match now for the Danes. What a cracking piece of play by William Anderson.
some great football and skill there, some incisive play. He cut through one challenge, made for another, and then just hit a lovely kick. Sailed in on the elements and just threw for a goal. And we are indeed now looking at what is going to be a success here for Denmark, it looks like. The Swedes are going to fight. They're going to look for any opportunity to develop on what has been a fairly fluid display. I have to say their near neighbours have just been slightly better, and this will have been looked on as a success for the Danes in this European Championship here in Dublin. They've enjoyed a pretty good outing all week. They've put in some big performances, and yeah, physically they look a little bit smaller than their counterparts, but they lack in no sense do they lack the mental strength that's needed to get out of this contest what they've put in. They've competed for everything. We've seen Axel Bang to the fore at different stages in the centre field area. Emil Eberg sends it up forward. Blondeau is after it. There's Kozja again. He leaves it off there, and his number 21 Westergaard comes to his aid. The Danes have almost done enough. Eberg has been probably, for me, one of the best players in the tournament. I've been very impressed with him and his mentality and his never say die attitude. The Danes are back on the ball here. It's Oddison. Oddison sends it across, searching for one of his forwards. It's turned over here by the Swedes. Eberg is hanging off the play. This is sent across. That looks like it's going to be too far for Osterkamp, and it's brought out over. That was the umpire signals. I thought it was going to be a throw in there, but he judged the ball to still be in bounds. The Danes are. That was a throw ball, was it? It looked like it was, and the Swedes are gonna get out of here. Aberg is going to go for the mark, and he takes it, fine in the air, challenged it in the air, handballs it off. Oh, that's a little bit clumsy. The number 18 was Valmark. Byron's on the ball. He sends it across there. And the Swedes are turning it over here again. They need to get forward now. 9 points in the match. It's a tightly poised contest, but really the Danes just seem to have enough. They seem to be able to conserve the territory and the energy for when it's needed. And this game is going to open up a little before the end. You have to think there's a lot of space up in the Danish half of the field. Drop the ball there, and let's see. That's Kozja again. He's been very useful in the centre field area for the Danes. Kicks it in long and high, looking for one of his colleagues inside. Was well defended by the Swedes. The Swedes are trying to get the ball out over the 50. I think the Danes seem to prosper when Kieran Hart takes the microphone. I'm hanging on tightly. I'm almost looking out here to be semi-Swedish. I'm hoping for this game to continue into overtime or extra time or any time we can get, but it's looking like it's going to be a Danish victory.
9 points of difference. Can Sweden get a goal out of somewhere here? Ball comes out of the pack. Hjorg's over it again. God, he's been strong. Breaks through the tackle. Kicked in by the number 23 for Denmark. Ball goes over his head. Oh, it has bounced and just hit the post. And that is 1 point. 10 points of difference now. That was extremely close. Surely that would have been the match for Denmark. Emil Arberg now to take the kick. Kicks it out short. Is that wise? Handball back to Arberg. This time he's going to go much longer. Will he have a bounce? He kicks it long. Who's up there for Sweden? They need a good grab. Martinson's there, but it goes over his head. And Palsberg takes the match. Takes the catch, I should say. That might be the match, though. Palsberg holding on to it now. That's all they need to do. Take some time off this clock. Sweden needs 2 goals to win. Kicks out high. Who's underneath this for the Swedes? Up goes Troels Ottosson. Can't come. Here's Anderson again with the ball on the side of the pack. He handballs it out. Now it's Jensen. Jensen twists and turns. Can't get the ball out of there, though. Oh, and again, Nielsen was over that ball. Here's Troels Ottosson. Turns, kicks, game, Denmark. Troels Ottosson kicks what must be the winning goal for the Denmark team. They are now 16 points ahead. That was a fantastic bit of perseverance there for Troels Ottosson. Kept on attacking the ball, kept on playing, kicked up, and finally kicked what might be the match-winning goal here. It is going to be hard now for the Swedes. They need to kick 3 goals, and there mustn't be much more time left on this clock. What a fantastic bit of effort by the Danes. They really pushed hard there. Byron and Lance at each other in the centre square here. They have been the 2 most formidable midfielders. There is a final siren. Denmark have won this match by 16 points. It has been one of definitely my favourite match of the tournament. It was a cracker. Some fantastic highlights, and Denmark, you must say, are worthy winners. Sweden, unlucky losers, but what a great contest they gave us.
I'd have to agree with you, Kieran. It was an absolute thriller. Right to the very end, Sweden fought for everything, and they're quite disconsolate out on the field, but they have no shame or no reason to be shameful. They should be very proud of their efforts here. They've put up big performances all week, and they've contested things. Matters were very well guarded by the officials, I have to say, and we now look forward to the grand final, which comes up at 4 o'clock between the GB Bulldogs and the Irish Warriors. But we have to pay tribute to the Danes here for their efforts and their work so far.